Join the movement. Go all electric with Pure Electric.
Welcome everyone to a presentation on the sustainability features of our home. We're located in northern New South Wales on Bundjalung country in the Byron Shire. Although the house is located in suburbia, we are fortunately surrounded by dense trees and vegetation. The climate is subtropical with hot, humid summers and relatively mild winters. For Sustainable House Day, we've given the title Retrofit 1980's Treehouse to reflect that it's an older house that has required substantial retrofitting to make it the comfortable and more sustainable home that it is today. We hope this inspires others living in older homes to take action to improve their home's thermal performance and sustainability. But before I launch in, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sebastian Krangle. I'm a sustainability consultant specialising in home energy efficiency and energy management. In 2022, Renew published an article that I wrote about the work that I had done on this house, using the residential scorecard tool to measure the impact of those changes. The house was built in 1985 of timber weatherboard. It had no insulation and very few passive solar design features. Nonetheless, the builder decided not to include design elements such as eaves. This was the house nearly 20 years ago when we first moved in. It was in a pretty poor state in terms of both thermal performance and energy efficiency. It was very uncomfortable to live in terms of thermal regulation, cold in winter and very hot in summer. Energy bills were high, and I really cut my teeth in learning about improving homes by working on this house over the years. This is the back garden soon after we moved in 2006. And one of the first things we did was put in a tank for rainwater harvesting, compost bins, and bought some chickens. Several years after moving in, the cladding on the southern side of the house started to get quite rotten and needed to be replaced. We took the opportunity to install bulk insulation into the walls, as well as a reflective membrane on the outside. And for cladding, we used a Colorbond-like metal roofing material, which, although has quite a high embodied energy, is very durable, especially for a hot, humid climate and a south-facing wall. When we first moved in, the house had no ceiling insulation whatsoever, making the upstairs rooms incredibly hot in summer and cold in winter. We've now installed polyester bats rated at R3.5. We also went to great lengths to insulate what are called the knee wall cavities, which is typical of a house with attic ceilings and which allow a great deal of heat into the walls of bedrooms upstairs. For subfloor insulation, although I used a fiberglass product stapled to the joists, with hindsight I would now go for either a polyester bat or an insulative board. I'm a big fan of using external shading to improve the thermal performance of a house, especially in hot climates. You can use shade sails, exterior awnings and blinds, anything to keep the sun off the walls, windows, and even pavements. In this case, I have shade sails over the driveway and also shading the house from the western sun. And on the right here, a sail that's over the top of a polycarbonate roof over the deck. Another example of effective external shading are external blinds. And in this case, preventing the eastern morning sun from entering through the windows into the living rooms and making them incredibly hot. Window coverings are a critical component to improving the thermal performance of a house, and this house has a broad variety, some with much better insulative properties than others. We've installed honeycomb blinds on several windows through the house, including this one, which due to its size made it very difficult to keep the living room warm in winter. In the attic rooms upstairs, we've installed honeycomb blinds as well. Here you can see a block-out version, light filtering, and some thermal imaging tests that I've done on their effectiveness. Draft proofing or weather stripping is a really effective way of reducing air leakage in a home and thereby improving its thermal performance. In our house, I had to plug up gaps in floorboards, put perimeter seal around doorways and windows, and installed weather strips on the bottom of doors. Moving on now to energy efficient technologies, we've installed air sourced heat pumps for both heating and cooling and for hot water. These were to replace resistive heaters. For renewable energy generation, the house has 3 arrays that have been installed over the years. There's a variety of orientations from flat and slightly east-facing, tilted north-facing, and quite steep west-facing panels. These help to ensure a more continuous supply of power through the day. All up, there's 5.5 kilowatts of power capacity, which is more than enough to provide for the home, charge the EV, and charge battery. Our battery storage is a more recent addition. It's a 5 kilowatt hour N-phase battery that enables us to store our excess solar power generated during the day and use it up through the night when there's the greatest demand on the grid for coal-powered non-renewable energy. Lastly, in terms of technology, we have an electric vehicle. It's a 2019 Hyundai Ioniq with a 39 kilowatt hour battery. We charge it just off a 15 amp power point in the carport because we don't want to pull more power than our solar is producing if we can help it. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this overview of our home retrofits interesting and wish you all the best in your own home sustainability journey.